Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nathan Hamilton, and this is a short review. And today we will be looking at World War Z. World War Z, I was excited about. I was very excited for it. I'm a zombie fanatic. I like zombie media. I love the Walking Dead comic books. I love almost, well, a lot of the good zombie movies. There are some out there that are just gorephobes, that just gore porn, but I like films that actually take zombies serious and don't treat zombies as a novelty. I love that. And this film, I felt, was going to treat zombies with great respect. Going in, I felt that this is going to be a serious zombie movie, and it was going to be everything I hoped it was going to be. What that was, I wasn't really sure. I was kind of left open with how it was going to be, but going in, I was excited nonetheless. Okay, starting out, we get some analogous imagery in the opening credits between humanity and nature in some aspects, and in the background we hear of the coming events. We know it's going to happen. It's World War Z. We know exactly what's going to happen. Zombie outbreak. It just all depends on what entails inside of that. And we're introduced to the main character, Jerry, played by Brad Pitt, and his family, his wife, and his two daughters. And I found myself caring for these characters because I do have a family that is very similar to this. My dad, my stepmom, and my two little sisters. They're very similar, and I could see similarities in the way this family was versus how my family is. And it's and for me it was very engrossing how these people were. But we get into the beef of the story. From what it looks like, I think they're going either on a trip or they're taking the girls to school, I believe. And they're in the middle of a traffic jam, and that's when things start to go haywire. You start to see very slowly how things get more and more chaotic, and then eventually, boom, there they are, the zombies. On the subject of the zombies, they're a fair mix between different styles of zombies. They're a good mix of the Zack Snyder sprinting zombies from the Dawn of the Dead remake, which I thought were scary as can be. Those zombies scared the life out of me. It's just because they ran and they were never able to get, and they never got tired. That scares me. And then also how the infection spreads, and the quickness of how the infection takes over the body is very similar to 28 Days Later, except where 28 Days Later it was like 5 to 10 seconds before the person completely turns. This one, it's around 12 seconds at its deadliest. It's 12 seconds, and then you're one of them. And I found that scary as well. And also the athleticism that these zombies have, just their sheer swarm mentality, like a swarm of insects, which is also analogous imagery from the beginning, comparative to ants. It's the swarming is very similar to the creatures from I Am Legend, and all three of those mixed together make a very, very scary zombies. And throughout this thrill ride, that's what this is. This is a thrill ride. There are parts where the storytelling's uneven and the story drags a little bit, but it doesn't distract from it. I felt it didn't distract from it at all for those parts. The slow parts where the exposition slows down, I don't mind, because there's always this tension of these things, these monsters that are just unstoppable in a swarm, and I'm just amazed at how they kept up the tension, even though these slow moments came and went. And we follow Jerry, the main character, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt gives a great performance in this. You know, I know there are people out there who hate Brad Pitt and all this, but in this, I felt like he gave a good performance. It's probably his best performance since... his best serious performance. I say serious performance because I loved his performance in Inglourious Bastards, but this is his best serious performance since Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And I'm sorry I'm pausing. It's just there's so much I have to say, and I'm trying to process it without rambling or being too overly cryptic, I feel. But we travel with Jerry while he's away from his family, and he's traveling to Korea. He's traveling all over the world trying to figure out the source, where it all came from. And he hears rumors, and he goes over evidence and all of this, and it's a good globe-trotting zombie film because it shows that this is worldwide. You see, where 28 Days Later was isolated to England, this has no isolation. This is worldwide extinction at possibly its worst. And I felt as though I were part of this universe. I could be part of this universe because these characters they're human. I feel like these characters in this are human. There are parts where you know, the logic meter was going off and I was like, that's not possible. No. But overall, I felt that these were human characters and that they were flesh and blood and that they hurt. They felt sadness, and I just can't say enough. This film surprised me in terms of its emotional depth. I came expecting a good zombie action film. What I got was an emotional thrill ride, an emotional tension-filled thrill ride, and I can't say anything bad about it. Final thoughts. I smell a franchise. Well, I do in this aspect. I see World War Z can become a decent zombie franchise. I can see it becoming if it keeps building on this, like all great stories, you have to keep building on it. And I hope that the World War Z franchise, as well, the internet is pretty much declaring it, World War Z, I hope and pray, does become a good franchise. And they treat the zombies with respect. And what I mean by that is they don't turn them into a novelty. They don't turn them into, a agoraphobe cinematic mess. They instead treat them with respect. This is a zombie franchise that deserves respect. That's just like people snickered at The Walking Dead when it was coming out. They said it was going to be agoraphobe and all this, but it actually had emotion to it and had good storytelling. Just like the comics. I mean, honestly, zombies in the medium, in the different mediums are... I find this a great time in media. You have one of the highest selling comic books, The Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman. Keep it up, man. Really awesome. And then you have The Walking Dead TV series, which they keep going through showrunner troubles, but hopefully they can keep up the good pace that they've got going. And now you have World War Z, which I feel is a bit of a culmination and possibly the beginning of a zombie peak. I'm not going to say zombie renaissance because I don't think that's possible just yet. one good zombie film doesn't mean that zombies are here to stay forever in the movie, in the realm of film. But I love seeing zombies. I love zombies. Ever since I saw the first Night of the Living Dead. Ever since I saw Romero's Night of the Living Dead when I was 12 years old, I was hooked. Needless to say, I was hooked. Anyway, World War Z, I love. I hope they continue with it, and they also changed up the ending, which I'm happy with the ending that they had. It was more tension filled. It had good tension to it, and the original ending took place in Russia, and you can see some of the scenes they shot for the original Russian ending in the epilogue that happens after the resolution in this film. But just good job, guys. Keep it up. Keep holding respect for the zombie films, and don't let the mediums get oversaturated with bad zombie media, because that will kill such good storytelling. The zombie storytelling has been in the dumps for Lord knows how long, and hopefully this will lead to a better time. I like this movie. See it. It's PG-13, and they kind of keep the gore down, and there aren't really that many bad moments. There's just a lot of tension and a lot of jump moments. But for younger kids, it would be too scary. But kids who are older, I don't think it'll matter. But anyway, see this film. I like it, and hopefully they can keep going good with it. As for next week, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might do White House Down, but I feel like I've already done it. I feel like I've already done a review for it. A little film called Olympus Has Fallen. You can check out the short review of that here. But anyway, thanks for watching. And hey, like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.